Good afternoon. This is Todd Colvin coming to you from the floor of the CME Group. We are talking metals and gold prices. Finding a home near these new highs. Settling this week right around 1330 was the highest. We saw the highest weekly high going back to September, but we did settle lower week over week. So while the trend still remains in place for higher prices, maybe a little bit of the momentum was taken out of the market this week as gold prices made those new highs and then pulled back. Might have been just a little profit taking because we didn't see a whole lot of follow through there. So gold prices holding that bullish trend, but again, momentum might be slowing a little bit. And if you look at what's happening in the dollar, really the dollar has fueled some of this gold rally, but the dollar's got its own problems and its own mess coming up next week when NAFTA conference gets together in Montreal. A lot of speculation. If the U.S. pulls out, it could have very volatile ramifications on dollar pricing and the dollar could go weaker. So I think that right now it's unseen, and I don't yet think the U.S. is going to pull out of NAFTA. Will they renegotiate their deal with Canada and Mexico? Most likely, yes. That sounds much more like President Trump than it does to just walk away from the table. So with the dollar still hovering on 4-year lows, it really hasn't seen much of an uptick. We did see a modest trade off those lows, but you're talking so modest, it's probably not worth mentioning. We still continue to see the dollar trending lower. 2017, the year the dollar would like to forget, has seemed to bled into 18, and maybe not that bad, but it seems that the dollar continues to suffer, and looking at U.S. dollar-based commodities like gold, they will benefit from that. And lastly, let's look at some of the positioning. Spec longs who had been getting long with both hands in gold continue to do so, but at a slower rate. So we are seeing at these higher prices maybe some consideration from some of these specs that they want to wait and see if there's going to be a pullback like we saw off the highs, and you'll see them scooping up some of these lower prices. But I think ultimately spec longs will continue to add as long as the cryptocurrency phase continues to be wild, as long as the dollar continues to test new lows, and equities are continuing to make all-time highs. Gold ends up being a nice defense against any kind of oops moment in stocks. So I think right now that the spec longs will continue to fuel this rally, and the trend that we've seen going back about 6 to 8 weeks should continue, looking to maybe target that 1365 52-week high. So right now, I think that gold prices will remain in this sustained channel. We might see a little pullback, but I do think spec buyers are there to buy, and ultimately we're going to see higher prices as we move forward. Next week, we do have the NAFTA meeting. We also get fourth quarter GDP, which will be something the market watches very closely. Likewise, we have a few central bank meetings, not here, one in Japan, one in Europe. So I think those will be the news-worthy items, and where the dollar goes, gold should do the opposite, likely to the upside. This is Todd Colvin coming to you from the floor of the CME Group.